Good afternoon. Welcome to In the Kitchen with Randy. Today we're making one of my favorite recipes. It's one I've been working on for a lot of years, trying to get it right, and I think I've got it pretty close. You'll be the judge of that. Today we're going to make these zucchinis into some wonderful, delicious bread. So today we're making zucchini bread. Alright, let's get started. The way we're going to do this is we're going to do what is called the muffin method, which means we're going to mix all of our dry ingredients together. We're going to mix all of our wet ingredients together, and then we'll bring them together into one big bowl, and then we'll put them into the oven, and off we'll go. Okay, so we're starting out. We got 1 pound of flour. And make sure you measure this by weight. That's 16 ounces of flour. So to that flour, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Use a good quality cinnamon. Use the one that you like. I happen to like the Vietnamese type of cinnamon. Comes out. I like the flavors of it. I like the profile of it. To that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. We're going to add a teaspoon of baking soda, and we're going to add in a half a teaspoon of baking powder. Get all those ingredients in there. We're going to whisk them all together so we have a nice mixture. And then we're just going to set that aside. That's our dry ingredients. Now in our mixing bowl, we're going to start putting together our wet ingredients. We do have 1 dry ingredient we're going to add, and that's our sugar. We're going to add in our 1 pound of sugar. That's 16 ounces of sugar. To that, we're going to add 3 whole eggs. 3 whole eggs. They're large eggs, by the way. Large eggs because that's the standard of the baking industry. A large egg weighs approximately 2 ounces. That's 1 ounce of yolk and 1 ounce of white. That's kind of important. To that, we're going to add in 1 cup of corn oil. Now, if you don't have corn oil, you can use canola oil. Just make sure you don't use something like olive oil, because the flavor will be off if you use that. So, use the oil of your choice as long as it's not too heavily flavored. Then after that, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to bring that over to our mixer. We're going to use our beater attachment. And we're going to slowly incorporate those items together. So we get it kind of going slow till everything absorbs, until all the sugar absorbs the water or the oil and the egg. Get them all mixed, and we're going to step it up a little bit. We're going to cream them all together. We're getting a nice homogeneous mixture here. Everything's all incorporated. Looks really nice. Alright. We're going to hit shut that down. And now we're going to add in our zucchini. Now, this zucchini was some zucchini I got a while back. So what I did was I went ahead and I shredded it, and I measured it out into 2-cup measurements, and then I froze it. Now, when you unfreeze it, when you thaw it out, make sure you save all that liquid. If you don't, your bread's going to be dry. This is experience speaking. I've done that, and I had a problem with it. So make sure you save all that liquid. So into our mixture, we're going to go with that. Get all that zucchini in there. And then we're going to just let that mix up just a little bit, just so we get that kind of incorporated through that wet mixture. And while that's mixing up, we're going to start adding in our dry ingredients. Get that all in there. Alright, got all the dry in there. Now let's just take a moment. We're going to stop this, drop it down. We're going to make sure we get this all incorporated. I was a little sloppy getting that in there apparently. But let's scrape down our bowl, make sure we get all that dry in there. Now we don't want to over mix this. We just want this to all come together. Once it comes together, then we're going to pour it into our pans. Alright, so now that's all mixed together. It's all ready to go into the prepared pans. Now our prepared pans are pans that have been greased and then lightly floured. Now if you don't want to do it in a two-step method, you can do it in the method that most professional bakers use. And that's what we call making a pan grease. Basically, it's just 1/4 cup of flour into 1 cup of fat. And then all you do is just brush that into your pans and they're ready to go. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to pour this into our 2 pans, and we're just going to do our best to guess on how much goes in each one, because we don't necessarily want to weigh it. You can, if you want, you can weigh and figure out exactly what 1/2 of this batter is in each pan. But other than that, we're just going to guess. And I think it'll come out just fine. All right. There we are. We've got our mixture into the pans, and they're ready to go into a 325-degree oven for about an hour. All right, we'll come back in about an hour and we'll see what we have. This is our nicely finished zucchini bread. Now we're going to let this sit about 10 minutes, and then we're going to turn it out onto a cooling rack. All right, these have sit in the pan for about 10 minutes. We just loosened them with a knife, and you see they come out there nice and clean. We're going to let those cool before we slice them. They need to cool at least about 20 minutes before you cut into them. Nice and light. Just the way you'd like to have it. It's nice and warm still. Fresh, homemade zucchini bread. And here's to you. Good cooking.